everyone, today's reading is going to be on the Bondi mass stabbing that happened in, I think, Maya shopping centre in Sydney. It happened on the 13th of April and it was by one man, and I believe with them saying stabbing, he was stabbing with a knife. What I know is that it was said earlier that day he'd gone into a restaurant and ordered food, but he couldn't pay, so he left. He returned a few hours later. He had whatever he ordered and he paid in cash, which is a bit of a question mark. And then around 3:10 he entered the shopping mall, which I believe is like 7 stories. It's a massive one. And then he left and he returned. So I wonder, did he return with a knife? I just can't see it being as, it'd be really weird if it was a small knife, because you've got to go really up to the person. You can hide that, but if it's a big knife, it's very difficult to hide. And so often when you hear these titles, it could be, people think it's like it could be like a terrorist or racist attack. I don't think, one second, I'm just gonna, my table. I hope the camera is still in focus. What was I saying? Mental, basically there's always a bit of mental health, isn't there, to do that regardless of the situation. So I do think that that's the case. I'm not tapping into his energy. I understand that he was he shot down or taken down by a police officer? I don't know if that police officer was in the mall and they're just a police officer off duty, or if they were on duty in the mall, but anyway, they were taken down. He was taken down, so he was actually killed. I understand that 7 were killed. Oh, why do I say 7? I know that I've got the energy of 7 that I want to discuss, but 6 were killed and 12 were injured. And I think there was one person who tried to stop him or protect themselves at the escalator, and I presume that person's going to be seen as a heroic, especially if they tried to stop him, and especially if this knife was like not a little, not a little knife like that where you can't hardly see it. But to kill someone with a small knife, you've got to be really close. I just feel like this could have been a bit of a bigger knife. Now, to think of someone who might enter and then re-enter, I think they knew what we were doing. I doubt anywhere near there. They knew what we were doing. I mean that when they arrived, they either had it triggered in their head that this is what they're going to do, so they stepped out, gathered themselves, or maybe they stepped out and his energy was like going through psychopathy and trying to balance intensive energy of doing whatever come to his mind. Sometimes we have suddenly weird thoughts that come in and you might say to yourself, that's a bit mad. So maybe he had something like that. I am feeling a bit of psychopathy. I'm definitely feeling mental health, but I think there might be other stuff involved here. This is not a case of let's say he has a case of ADHD or schizophrenia, right? This is not a case of that only. This is a case where he might have those things, but there's a total imbalancement. There's an anger. I'll look into the cards if it's targeted. But I feel like this could be someone who was isolated and struggling mentally, but also with his life. I would not be shocked if in the cards I see the energy of somebody who might be, you know, taking a drug. And I've mentioned this in, you know, Elijah Vu's case. And there could be someone who's on certain drugs like this in Caleb Harris's case. Now, in Caleb Harris's case, the number 7 was dominant for me, and that was like an altercation or face-to-face with the law, and here we get it as well. Here I get the 13th of April, we've got, and I don't know why next to the 13th of April I wrote solar eclipse, so I think, and the solar eclipse was on the 7th and 8th, so for us it would have been the 7th, and in the 8th it would have been in Australia. For us, I mean, like for the UK, possibly US even further back, we hadn't hit the peak, but I think Australia had. With me writing that down, I don't know if you can, I was going to show you, but basically if I show, I can't see what exactly I'm showing you, where I'm showing you, and it would be tiny in a box. I feel like he was struggling around the time of the solar eclipse with intensity. So this could be someone who was on mental health medication, having mental health struggles, feeling quite isolated in the world, maybe out of norm, but also not recognized for who he wishes to be recognized for. And I don't mean like, for example, being a chief operating officer, just like feeling quite isolated, and maybe non-relatable, not where he needs to be in life, like things just not where they are. And I think clearly struggling to pay for, or not having the cash to pay for his food. Either this was a mental health condition where he's forgot his cash in the car, but for me, I wonder if there was money troubles here. When I was thinking, so when I wrote the date 13th of April down, and I did want to try and actually see if I could get his date of birth, I wanted to tie it in. The energy, and I wrote solar eclipse, that tells me he was struggling during the periods from easily from the 6th up until the date it happened. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I'm going to look at the energy prior, the day prior as well. So the 12th was 3, April 4, 8, what have we got there? You know, these numbers are very similar to Caleb Harris's numbers, and I'm not saying that Caleb, but for example, I get a lot of 4s in this energy, and I mentioned 4s in the last Sebastian case. A 4 in this energy that I'm reading is, you know, your home, your routines, and your final place to rest. And that energy of that day was very potent for him. And then the final energy of a 7 was potent for this guy. I'm not talking about Sebastian now. For this guy, which is a face-to-face altercation with the police. We also have a dominant 8. An 8, I just want to check the tarot for what I normally get with the 8. Because I make notes what I think I get with the 8. But for me in general in numerology, the 8 is the fast communication, maybe communication that can trigger you a little bit. 8. Oh, where is it that I note it? But yeah, 4, rest in peace, final resting place. Let's see, 8. find it anyway. So, you know, the communication, the inner strength that's needed, or the strength that also taming the beast kind of energy. Are you still with me, everyone? I think some of these would be great to be done live. I'm going to check if I've hit the threshold of views, and I'd really appreciate for those of you that are able to donate at my PayPal link to support the channel, to help me grow, but also then invest more content in the channel. I do pull out content every day, so I am working hard, and it's kind of all free. I don't get anything back from YouTube. I don't get anything back from anyone. And this is along with my work and my client work. And if you want to know more about me, it's in the bio, but you can always email me. But 7, yes, strong altercation with the law enforcement, which doesn't surprise me because we got the police that shot him down. Now, I presume those of you, if you're tuning in from Australia, my heart goes out to you, just like other countries as well. I don't want to go into it, but I predicted if Iran jumps in, it's going to go AYF. Iran jumps in against Israel to Palestine. So thoughts of those on the genocide of Palestine. But I dare say in Australia, you're a bit upheaval. I don't know if that area is potent to crime. I don't think this is related to that. But if you are, like, if you do feel that that area's got crime, you might be a bit shocked because it's a mass stabbing. But it's, and if you're not, and it's generally a quiet area, a really nice area, and it's never seen crime, it's going to be quite shocking. I can only imagine the children, the people, and so let's just look at this. So, you know, I get strong 4s, and then also the energy of face, head, and brain. This energy, I also got the brain and the head for Sebastian. I'm going to stop crossing over, but also there was an indication of which I didn't go into Sebastian, but his feet, and also I went into the astrology, check that part out. Well, here we have it, and then also the phase of that day, the energy as well, is a bit of ready to take action. You know, there's also something about communication, there's something about lungs. So I wonder where he targeted people, if it was just anywhere or straight in the chest area if he could. But there's a bit of impulsivity on that day. And then the energy also of the moon brings on the 5th day, which means we could be looking at a big change. You know, it's kind of like a change in dynamics, and we see that in the energy. And this is limited to what I actually know is just off the date. The day before would tell me female energy is potent. 7, 8. 7, 8. And there could be something around sort of relationships, so female, death, and relationships could be something. And I said I feel like he was quite isolated. I do feel like there was an energy of mental health, but I do think there's some psychopathic drugs, you know. And people, I just want to say, because I've got, personally, I know a bit distantly, someone who's struggled with addiction and tried to come off it, and then turned to pain meds with alcohol and opiates, and it changes you into a totally like devilish energy. And that energy I get in Elijah Vu's type of drugs they were taking. So this guy could be taking like a mental health drug for whatever mental health he has, if he has one, but he's taking something of a stabilizer. And also, sorry, we also have nervous system in place, all right, with the energy. So that stabilizes the nervous system. And then this like, for example, You can't take a relaxant drug and also take something that makes you hyper. Your body doesn't know what it's doing. And energies can take over you. And I can go into this further of like where you leave energy gaps in your soul, and that can then allow spirits to come in that are not good. And this is why I always warn of that. Now, before I go ahead, don't forget to like, subscribe. You can leave a comment. Let me know. You know, that's all I know on the, all I said in the beginning is all I know. And the person's called jolecauchi, and I believe they said he's 40 years old. I don't know if that's correct. And it was in Bondi, which I believe is in Australia. Let me know if you're tuning in, from where you're tuning in. I welcome you to subscribe. Let me know what content and readings you want as well. And also, if we get to the threshold, I'll be doing lives, and super thanks when there would be appreciated. Again, if you want to reach out to me for any of my services or donations, the PayPal link, my contact is all there as well. A like and comment would be appreciated if you resonate, and subscribing would be even more appreciated. I want to thank those of you, there's a few of you that have subscribed, and every time you leave a comment, you make me smile. And actually, for you to know who you are, you need to be a subscriber, and I will actually put that statement or emoji so that you know. Okay, so let's get into this reading. Shall we start off with, I'm not going to channel his energy, but let me just check on his energy in general. Okay, so overall, let's see his energy. This is interesting. Temperance, Six of Coins. These are very good cards, but we're going to continue. I'm going to explain them. Four of Wands, Four of Cups. Let's stop there. It's interesting, when I said the 8 energy of the communication, I was thinking of the Strength card and this card, the Healing card. So let's look at his overall energy. This is not on the day of the crime, okay? It's overall energy. We've got 8. Look at the numbers that I've mentioned are significant, okay? I mentioned the 5, I mentioned the 6, I mentioned the 4s, I mentioned the 3, I mentioned the 6, I mentioned the 7, I mentioned the 3, I mentioned the 3, I mentioned the 8. No number here and no number here. All the numbers I've mentioned are here. The The actual day is the 7 energy, the 6 is the prior, we've got 4 on the actual day. I mentioned the 3 in terms of the female as well, we've got the 3 and the 3. Okay, so his overall energy, I feel like this is taking me back to his childhood. I don't know if his mother actually struggled to get pregnant with him, or struggled during their pregnancy, and it really needed patience and nurturing for her to get pregnant, or for her to or during her pregnancy. I feel like he has a trauma, or some struggle from childhood, and that could be around the pregnancy that occurred. Again, this is for a disclaimer, entertainment purposes only. Please always check the disclaimer. Sorry. Yeah, I wonder if he had mother issues, where there was emotional blocks on. This is for entertainment purposes only, okay? I wonder if he was in and out of their energy as well. Maybe as he got older, or something around that, okay? There's an energy of controlling and a lack of emotional expression here. I wonder if he also struggled with his emotions, struggling to, like, suppressing emotions, feeling insecure, which was what I was saying. There's an energy of sometimes possibly being irrational. And I feel that energy was actually becoming known. But I do feel like there's something here within the household when he was younger. That could be emotional blackmail. There was something very dissatisfying within his home. I'd love to know his star sign as well. And it seemed like he'd often want to really just depart and go. Like, he was always thinking, I need to move on, I need to go to my own place and just let go of the chapter of my past. I think he was struggling emotionally, and we see that with the Star card as well. Now, what's interesting here is the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know if he felt like he was getting what he... Star in reverse, yeah. Star in reverse. Again, that's the 8 energy, and basically it's disappointment. It's a lot of despair, and I think this was around the home, okay? And I don't know when he left home, but I think it was something he really wanted. So that's what I'm getting is his overall energy, okay? So there would have been issues here, okay? Let's go on to the day of the event. Let's just make sure this is recording. Yes, it is. You know, when I was thinking of his initials, JC, the High Priestess card came into me. So I think, yeah, dealing with his psyche, that would sometimes not be balanced when I think of what I've just said around possibly taking other things that cause imbalancement. And also when I was thinking I'm going to do this reading, and I was wondering if he was targeting anything. I got Jack the Ripper come through. I don't know if any of you know that. If you're from the UK, drop me a comment. I hope some of my subscribers from the UK are watching. Let's look at the energy of the day before. So this is the 12th of April, 2024. Jolecauchi's energy the day before, please. His energy the day before. Okay, I'm getting, oh no, it's come out. I'm getting told to go on the actual day, and as I get told that, we get you belong to paradise. So definitely it was his time, and we got that in the energy of what I broke down. We also get a 4, we get a 6 here as well, and so the energy of that day was, it was his time. Okay, we come with soul contracts, it was his time to go. All right, let's now look at the energy, continue with the same day, and we'll go back to the day before. Okay, 10 of Wands. He was carrying around heavy burdens. I think he was heavily burdened by the bottom of the deck, childhood, his past memories. Show me Jolecauchi's energy, please. What did I mention? I don't think he felt like he was getting recognized by people. And I feel like he used to go into an energy of feeling like he is in power, or really in a really happy place. And that, I don't know if he tried to, if he had an image, I'm getting social media, where he tried to buff up his image of something, but in fact he was very isolated, possibly some money troubles here, that would then when he went into this energy, he would lash out. Look at that, we get that, look, lash out. And as I say lash out, you know, I get that, the stabbings, but what I meant lash out is erratic behavior, which I said earlier, the energy of that. And then come on, come to me, come to me, come to me, what I want to say. Instability, so actions around just reactive, irrational behavior. And, you know, often he'd be feeling quite vulnerable, but I don't feel he understands it when I tap into the energy. I don't feel like he really understood it as vulnerability, and definitely couldn't express it emotionally as vulnerability. But, and that's why I think there was a need to open and trust people, but he was holding on to his past, which we see here, and also in the 6 of Cups. I mean, this is all just confirming my channeling, and trapped in that energy, very heavy energy for him. And then at the same time, sort of the external, certain times he'd be really happy, but I feel like, and feel the support, but at the same, the truth of it, there wasn't, do you know the imbalancement of that? Like really, really excited about stuff and then not. And look at this, what did I say about the, look at the bottom of the deck. So definitely haunted by past, haunted by his mind. Addiction, I think there's an addiction here to, like I said, there's other stuff that he's taken. Addiction possibly to maybe sex or that kind of thing, trying to have. But there is something from his childhood. 2 of Wands, not able to move forward, as I say that, and the moon, there's fears. His psyche was very much at play. Fears, okay? And there's that Queen of Cups with the emotional need to be emotionally grounded, but he wasn't. He was always kind of sometimes on the defense, not able to overcome the past. And the Seven of Swords in reversed, again, this can represent, for me, these cards are representing a bit of his mental health. Can you see here, it looks like someone, it's interesting when I said six died, I said 7, but actually 6 died. I said, I wonder why I said 7. Here I see like, so I wonder if 5 died on the spot and 1 later died and the next one is trying to recover or something like that. But the meaning that I'm getting actually more, but that just came to me where I said 7. The meaning that I'm getting for this card is really about lying to yourself, lying to others. We can see it through this thingy, through the image, what I was channeling, saying here. And really the energy of that day, he took more than what he should, you know, he shouldn't be doing what he did. This is him taking the right of things that he shouldn't have been doing. Can you remember in the energy overall for him, maybe in his life, etc., we had the Temperance upright. Here it's gone. The lack of patience, the lack of stability, being impulsive, the blocked emotions, not feeling part of a community. So he was struggling that day, we can see that. And this is no excuse for what happened. It's horrific what's happened. I mean, even people that needed to witness that, can you imagine the fear that they probably live in now? And I presume kids were there as well, so that's something that could be quite frightening. So I'm only just explaining his energy, so please understand what I'm stating here. I'm not excusing anything by any means before anyone tries to state that in the comments. The struggle of actually, you know, sort of bonding with others on that day and not able to listen and being very selfish is the energy. Like ego had taken over, blocked emotions, blocked mental stability, the own agenda he had. There's an agenda here he had, a block of emotions as well with what we see in the cups energy as well. And repressed emotions. Let's go to the day before. Energy of the 12th. This is where I felt there was a lot of female energy as well. Which could have been like a trigger. Open your arms, cleanse and restore yourself. In reverse, let chance play its creative role in your life, which this is where he became impulsive. The lack of emotions and balance, not cleansing and restoring, grounding himself. Probably being on the, whatever he's taking, I feel like he was taking additional stuff and he'd already had like some mental health problems. Let's look at the energy of the 12th. What did I say about female energy that could have been a trigger? Or female energy being quite potent. Here he was quite, on the 12th, he was quite illusionary, but he was in a place where, do you know when you're like in serenity? He had a bit of hope. He was like, I think he was a bit dreamy. I think there was confusion around feminine energy. Yeah, so I think the reason I've looked into the 12th is because I feel like, look, there might have been, he might have got the thought, something that triggered this on the 12th. I don't know if something comes out about the 12th or he did something on the 12th. You know, the past of his home is definitely something that was affecting him. And a lack of judgment to peacefully move away from certain things and just ground himself again. The Emperor here in reverse, we've got a 4, okay? Look at this, 4 and 4, like I said, significance in terms of a place to rest. Clinging too much on the past and, you know, destruction, you know, destruction. And he was mourning a past situation. I don't know what happened in his life, okay? You know, here with this Emperor as well in reverse, we've got that, you know, he was very rigid and controlling and defensive, and there was selfishness in a certain way. And he lacked this stabilizing energy. Show me the 12th. Unsatisfied with a lot of things, wanting a new beginning. I think he might have like been wanting to get in a relationship or something. And I don't know if he was interested in like bisexual. That could have been a thing, but he was not satisfied when looking forward, waiting on, you know, looking forward in terms of his life. He felt, like I said, quite isolated. There was a lot of fear and couldn't see clearly. Again, quite dreamer about his romantic life and waiting for that change. There's the High Priestess I mentioned. Temperance. I wonder if someone in the energy of the 12th or the, if it's not his, I don't think it's his, I think it might be a female, was a Sagittarius. With the 7 of Cups, he was quite delusional and not able to see clearly. And then we've got the 7 of Wands here. In reverse, and so he was very defensive and felt very misunderstood. I feel like there was something that happened that day on the 12th, by the way. I feel like he felt like he was being attacked in a certain way. And again, I wonder if it's to do with Sagittarius energy or to do with his psyche. But there's something that's triggered on the 12th. Let's just look at one more question. I just want to ask this question again. Okay, it wasn't targeted to one person. It could have been targeted to females. It was targeted. I'm not getting it was targeted at one person, possibly to females. That's why I was clarifying the deck. Possibly, yeah, I'm getting targeted mainly to females. So, I don't know, those that were mainly attacked, were they females? That's what I'm getting possibly. And it kind of ties in with the energy of a getter. I think he has a mother wound. I'm not saying anything about the mother. There's something there that's triggered. I also think maybe he, you know, Jack the Ripper, they say similar stuff around this as well. And that's what I was getting. Okay, let's say one last question. Just going to ask that question again. Getting told to change the deck to this one. Okay, just bear with me while I shuffle. Now I need to ask again to confirm. Okay. I'm getting conflicting messages in both cards, okay? I think he thought of this prior to the 13th, but also I'm getting that it was planned on the 13th. So my question was, did he actually strategically plan this before the 13th? The answer was that it was, and then I asked also, was it planned on the 13th? Stronger energy on the 13th to actually go ahead with this. But there was a thought, or kind of like a thought plan prior to the 13th. So I'm not getting a straight answer that it was only on the 13th. So I wonder if he thought about it prior to the 13th. That definitely came through. Whether he actually strategically planned it prior, I don't know. So I think it did come through to his, it did come through. I'm getting told to look at this. Oh, I'm getting reminded by Spirit something as well. Hang on a sec. Stronger energy on the 13th, okay? Before I started this reading, Spirit wanted me to, that I could pull on this, a couple of cards, 1, 2. Seven of Swords. Taking away what is not his right, which is the life. And also I think this is stating that he was actually quick on his feet to do it. I don't think he thought he would get caught. He didn't, it wasn't a well thought plan. That's what I'm getting. It wasn't a well thought plan. It was kind of like a quick on the feet. And I don't think he thought he was going to get caught. Getting told one last card here. Embrace oneness with the universe. I think that's what he was struggling with. I'm going to leave it here. My prayers go out to everyone who could be mourning right now. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, you know what to do, folks. Stay blessed and look out for the next readings. I appreciate all of you that are subscribed and all of you that are really just sharing, engaging and liking to help the channel in a ruthless algorithm. Take care, stay blessed, and my prayers to those that are mourning right now. God bless. Bye for now.